Hey everybody, this is Connie with the Artisan Company. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to do a simple but beautiful and elegant project using blue sponge coral. So let me tell you what you got to have and we'll get started. Okay, so first thing we've got here is this beautiful blue sponge coral here. And I got these at Stones and Silver, and they're about a 20 this way by 15 this way sponge coral. And oh my goodness, isn't this beautiful? And it's faceted. You can see the facets cut on it. It is absolutely stunning. The last time I checked, she had a few of these left. I don't know if they're sold out yet or not, but she did have some left. But I did get it at Stones and Silver. However, if you don't want to do sponge coral, you can do any kind of drop like this. It doesn't matter. As always, it's just the concept of the design. You can put in whatever stone that you want. But anyway, we're using this beautiful blue faceted sponge coral. The next thing you'll need is I'm using a crystal clear and a real light blue 8 millimeter fire polished Czechoslovakian cut glass. You can get these from Fire Mountain very easily, but this is just your clear, and this is a very light blue color. Okay, the next thing you'll need are some bead caps, which over here I'm using a 4 millimeter bead cap. A 5 millimeter will work as well. I'm using silver in this one. Then I've got a metallic pink, metallic pink 11.0 seed bead, and they're Czechoslovakian Rokal beads. You can see these right here. I actually found these at Hobby Lobby, but I bet you a dime to a dollar that Fire Mountain and other places carry this color too, but it's a metallic pink. Then I've got a 6 millimeter finishing bead. I'm using a fluted one today just because I want to change it up. And then I'm using a lobster claw clasp today, some crimps and crimp covers. And then we're going to use some bails. This one is just a pinch bail. You can see it's just a basic, nothing fancy about it at all. It's just a little very clean, crisp pinch bail, Pinch, and you can see the two little ends on it there. You'll need some of those. And then this one, because I wanted one of the pieces of sponge coral to drop lower. So I'm using this particular bail. And what it is your wire runs through here. I call it a T-bail, but your wire runs through this hole right here, and your beads start here and here. And then whatever you're using here as your pendant will fit here. And so we're going to connect. Let me find my little guy. I lost him. We're going to connect this here. That's where we're going with that. Okay, and I think that's everything. Obviously, I'm using AccuFlex beading wire in a medium strength 49 strand. Okay, let's get our heads around it and go. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is connect this to this little T-bail right here. This is the first thing I'm going to do, so that way when I start stringing, I can just slide it on there and keep moving. So this is, the hole is not from front to back, it's from side to side. It goes this way on it. So I am going to use this little U-shaped pinch bail, and I'm going to connect it on each side like so. And as I'm connecting it, I will slide it onto the T-bail as I'm doing it. Haha, let's hope it works. Okay, so I'm going to take my T-bail. I'm sliding the other one on it like so. It's no big deal. Okay, I'm going to, I should have done this earlier, but I'm going to open this up just a little bit so that it will fit over my piece of coral into these little holes. You want these little guys going into each little hole. And sometimes you have to open it up just a little bit further than you'd like. Oh, there it went, and it's in. Did I crack anything? Hope not. All right. Whoops. I did crack something. Oh my. Hang on. This just shows you how fragile coral can be. Let me get my magnifying glass just to make sure. I didn't crack it, but I may choose a different piece. So let me find a different piece and we'll start from there. All right. I got it on there. You can see how I clamped it. Once I put it on there, I took my little tool here and I mashed it at the top. Don't mash it down here because if you do, you'll probably break the stone you're working with, especially if it's this coral. So I mashed it up here at the top very gently, and you can see it kind of flutes in like that. Okay, and then it's connected. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to start stringing our next section, and the pattern is going to be this. Let me set this over here. Okay, so we are going to do a piece of coral, and we're going on these two right here. We're going to put bead caps on each side of these, right here and right here, that because they're going to fit pretty flush right there, like that, on that bail. And then the next thing we're going to do is start with one of these faceted glass beads in the blue. We're going to do all blue here in the middle. And we're going to flank each one of these with a bead cap. And then we're going to start the little hot pink beads. And they're going to flank each piece of coral because the silver actually brings out light in this, and the pink actually highlights the blue. So that's the reason why I'm doing it in the order I am doing it in. Okay. All right. Let's go. All right. We're going to put our centerpiece on. I'm just wiring that right through there. Now, some people, I will tell you this too. Some people will take a smaller bead to go inside this hole. So you don't have to do that, but some people put little smaller beads in here just to make it a little tighter fit. I'm not going to do that today. All right, and then we're going to go to the bead cap. And the first piece of coral, I'm trying to make sure my color is good here. Let's see here. Let me switch. Let's do this right here. I'm just looking at my color and trying to make sure my color is good all the way around. Okay. Another bead cap. And you can see when I pull it, that's going to fit right up against this T-bail right there. Okay. Then we are going to do another bead cap, but we're going to flank it onto the blue bead. Just want to bring out that light in there. The trick to this one is going to be these little seed beads. All right, and then we're going to do the hot pink bead next to this blue. And look how that blue shines with that little hot pink bead by it. And it's not that much color. It is just a tiny little bit of color right there on it. It just makes that blue pop out. Okay, then the next one is the bead cap, the blue glass bead. And these blue glass beads are stunning. These fire polished. Oh my, they're so glittery. Okay, and then a little bitty tiny seed bead, another piece of this beautiful coral. I'm looking at the best side for that. Because you can flip these coral pieces like with any organic type of stone you're working with like this. sides are different. And so, just play with it, pick out the best side that you want to show, and we go from there. All right, almost through with this side. Whoops. So you can kind of see where we're going. Get on there, little guy. Oh my goodness. This side's the prettier one. One more of these. All right, and then a bead cap going out because it's going to be catching the next blue bead as it comes in. All right, so this is where we're headed with this little middle section right here. Is that not gorgeous? Oh my goodness, look at that. All right, I'm going to bead this other side and then we'll look at the next section. All righty, you can see this is where we are headed. So this next little section that we're going to do here is to finish off the necklace. Easiest pie, you can zoom through it. And so what I'm doing, this necklace is probably going to be about a 17-inch or so, somewhere around in there. So the drop will drop at about 18 or 19. That's kind of where I was headed. So let me turn this way, and I'm just going to work on this one side and then we'll look at where we are. Okay, boy, this is pretty. I love this. It's different because of the T-bar down here on the bottom makes it different. All right, so the next thing we're going to do on this one is I put on the little bead cap right there to start the next thought. Okay, so we're going to do the glass bead, blue glass bead, yeah. And then we're going to do the little hot pink right in the middle. We're going to carry that color all the way up. And it's very subtle, but your eye sees it, but it's very subtle. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is introduce the clear, because I've got 6 of the blue to finish out this side, and I want to graduate that color out into all clear. So I'm going to alternate the blue with the clear until I finish my 6 beads here, and then we'll do all clear on the end. Okay, and so next one is a clear one, and you're flanking each one of these with a bead cap. So the blue and the clear will have a bead cap on each side of it. Going to push that light in it a little more, and that's we want to push it forward. And so this will help do that. That's why you don't need a very big one, because this is a 4 millimeter. You can do a 5 millimeter too, because you're using 8 millimeter glass beads. But I just wanted a little bit of light to push it, so that's why I did the 4 millimeter. There is a reason to the rhyme there, or method to the madness. uh, all right, so I'm gonna back to the clear. Boy, this necklace would be beautiful year round, just because of the color palette that's in it. And this is another one of those things, just take your time. Beading is never something you can do in a hurry, ever. And then, like I always say, check and check often. I cannot stress that more, um, because the minute you get down to the end and then you go back and check and you're going, oh, dag, I missed something, So as you do each section, if you'll check it, make sure you didn't miss anything, and it'll save you a lot of time and heartache in the end. Boy, this is pretty. These little seed beady guys. They like to stick together, so sometimes I'll have 2 of them on there and I'm going, wait a minute. they had. All right, so you get the gist of where we're going. Is this not stunning? Can you see that sparkly? Oh my. And you've got all blue with a little dabble of pink, all blue, and then it starts graduating from blue to clear, and then it'll go into all clear. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this. I'm going to finish this side as well, and then we'll be back and try to wrap this up. Okay, we are at the tail end of this project. I went ahead and did this side just to expedite time. But anyway, coming up to the top here, we're going to finish out this little section right here with just the clear faceted beads. And what I did was I stopped here. There's a bead cap right there. You can see it right there. So what I did, this is a new thought. So I'm adding another bead cap here going that way in order to make a new thought here without making too much of a fuss of the break. All right, so you see they're going both directions. One's going that way, one's going that way. Okay, so when I added the 3 clear beads right here, I only put the cap on the top one. Just bam, bam, bam right there. Not on both sides this time. You can do that if you want to. It's still going to be beautiful. I just didn't think it was necessary for these endings here, but anyway, you can do it however you want to. So I'm going to add the 3 clear ones. Y'all, this is just a fun project. One more clear one. And you can use, like I said, you don't have to use the blue sponge coral. It's the concept of the whole thing. These are just drops. Just look at them as drops, you know? So you can use any drop that you have. Stone, acrylic, glass, doesn't matter. Okay, so we're here on the 3. Oops, I left off a cap. All right, so there's the end right there. And you can see there's a cap right there. So then I'm going to add this little fluted, what I call a finishing bead. That's my terminology before I add the crimp on and crimp cover, because it just finishes the thought instead of having the crimp right up next to this beautiful faceted bead. It's better to have it up against another bead because it just shows better. Okay, so we've got that little part right there, and you can use a solid silver bead, you can, or whatever color you're using, you can use a solid. It doesn't have to be fluted. And the only reason why I used a fluted was because this is so faceted. I thought it might be just kind of fun to add a little bit of texture right there. That's the only reason why I did it. No right or wrong there. Okay, so we're going to add the crimp and we're at the tail end. Remember to shake everything down so that you don't have any loose ends down here in this, especially because this is an odd section right here with this little T bail right here. So you want to make sure everything's tight. And I did that earlier before I got on here. All right, so I'm going to add my crimp and then my crimp, my clasp. Da 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 da. Alrighty, push it down. Make sure, as I always say, make sure you have room that this little guy right here can breathe. You don't want him, so you don't want that crimp so tight on there that this can't move. It really causes more wear and tear than what is necessary. Holding my crimp. All right, I'm going to not videotape this, but I'm going to run this back through, put the crimp cover on, and then we'll be back. Okay, we are done. I expedited a little bit of time here and went ahead and finished the clasp. But anyway, you can see how beautiful this faceted glass really showcases this organic looking coral, this blue sponge coral. And I love, love, love the graduated color here where it's going blue, clear, blue, clear. It just makes it just such an interesting thing to follow up the necklace. And also this little T-bar, I could have just put this right here, just right in the middle, and it'll have just a little hang right here, but I really wanted this thing to hang. So that's why I used the little T-bar. I love it. It's going to be like a little focal to bring your eye right down, and I think it'll be stunning on a sweater, something strapless, or even little skinny strap. It doesn't matter. It'll just be beautiful on pretty much anything. Okay, I hope you got some inspiration today from this. If you did, please like and subscribe, comment. I love you guys' comments. It's like I've got a relationship with a few of you guys that it's just fun to dialogue. It really is. But anyway, I will see you guys on the next video. Have a blessed day. Bye.